Hey guys, welcome back. And now we are going to talk about the favorite question of every hiring manager, and that is tell me about yourself. Now they might gonna ask you in a different way, or maybe they'll ask you straight, tell me about yourself, or they'll say, tell me your experiences in the past, or walk me through what you have done. Anything they ask you related to that, basically they ask you the same thing, is go through everything that you have done previously and how can you fit for this role. Now, a lot of people do get scared about with this question. Now, my advice to you is do not get scared. You should be proud of this moment. This is your moment to shine. This is your moment to put a big smile on your face and says, hey, this is my moment and now I'm going to tell you everything that I have done. So hold your shoulders up high and look him in the eye and start telling him or her what you have done and everything about yourself. Now think of this as if you walk into a car showroom and a person or salesman will try to sell you a car. What that salesman is trying to do, they're going to tell you every little feature of that car. That many horsepower, this car has a leather seat, rear view cameras, and all those features that car has to offer. Why? Because they want you to buy that car. So similarly, you have to do the same thing. You have to sell yourself. And when the time comes up for you to sell yourself, this is your proud moment. So again, embrace this question and sit back and then answer these questions with confidence. Now, how do you have to start? The first thing you have to do is summarize everything that you have done, which is like what your title and how many years you have spent. So always says, I'm a Linux system administrator, or I'm a Linux system engineer, or I'm an IT help desk technician, or whatever your title is for all these years. Or you could just say that I have been working in the Linux or in IT field for almost 5 or 10 years. That's how you start. Then you start talking about your current job, where you're working right now. If you do not have a job, talk about what you are doing. If you're taking a course, if you're taking a workshop, anything, start right at this moment as to what you are doing. Now, when you're starting from this existing job, let's say you're working for company ABC. Then the first thing you have to do is tell them what ABC actually, what is their primary business function, where they are, how many employees they have. So this way it gives them a really quick background of what this company is about. You don't have to go into detail. Then you have to tell them exactly what you do. So go through your resume beforehand. You don't have to look at your resume at that time. But if you are doing a phone interview, then it's a lot easier that you can look at your resume and you could go through, oh yes, I have done this and that, right? But if you're in front of the person, you don't have to actually go through the resume. You should have all those bullet points right here in your head. So you could say, I provide Linux support, and I have supported Linux that runs on maybe CentOS, Red Hat, SUSE, and the version that you have supported. Then you have to tell them how many servers that you have supported, whether it's physical servers or virtual servers. That's the very first thing. As for a Linux system guy, you have to tell them. Then you have to tell them what are the other technologies that you're supporting. For example, you're supporting DNS, you're supporting NFS, SendMail, Samba, anything that you are working on. Also, if you're providing any off-hour support, any rotational support, if you're doing any kind of documentation for them, tell them about it. Also tell them that all the support that you have providing for the virtual machines, if you will have some experience with other technologies like your storage or virtualization technology, or if you have actually brought in any new technologies. So actually go through all the bullet points and summarizes them. You don't have to go through one by one, but summarizes exactly what you do for them. And remember one thing, every time you're going through one job, you have to add 1 or 2 accomplishment in that. So if you are working for ABC, perfect, beautiful. But what have you done? Are you proud of what you did there? So tell them, yes, I am one of the good things, or the greatest project that I've worked on with company, is that I have upgraded all the entire system, maybe 2,000 machines that were running on the older version of an operating system. You tell them that you were part of it. If you have introduced a new technology and it was not there before, you were part of it. Add that. Be proud of what you have done there. So go ahead and find out. I have spent 3-4 years. I'm sure you have done something good. So bring that up. Maybe there was a disaster. Maybe there was a complete system shutdown, and you were there who brought the system back online. So add that in there. Then you go back in the history. Go back to the previous job and tell them what you did for that previous job, what company was that for, and how many years you worked for that job. Again, go through really quickly about what you did for that company. If you have multiple jobs, 3-4s, then you have to go very fast in your background, because you don't want to bore your hiring manager. They really don't want to know everything that you have done, but they really want to know everything you have done in like few minutes. So again, don't go over 5 minutes when they're asking you about yourself. Look him in the eye and make sure he's not getting bored. As soon as you see him moving around like this or yawning, don't. Then it means you have to cut it short and bring him back and have your attention. If he's yawning, then he's not going to buy you. So again, you're there to sell. You're there to sell your skills, your what you offer. All right, what else? So now also I wanted to talk to you about a few things about your accomplishment. Tell them how you have migrated some systems, any new technologies that you have offered, any processes that you have implemented that changed everything significantly. Also, awards that you have received. Maybe you've been Employee of the Month. Mention that. Or maybe you were nominated for something, but you were not selected. That's perfectly fine. Even getting a nomination is a huge thing. Do mention that. Then another thing I want to tell you, also add some quantifiable facts. Something that talks about numbers. What are those numbers? So let's say if you have never worked for any company and you're fresh, entry level, and you wanted to quantify something, and you would say, hey, Imran, I don't have any numbers to tell the hiring manager. Well, matter of fact, you do. Everybody does. So let's say if you have taken a course and that course you have spent 5 hours every day, that's the number. If you have taken a course, let's say, and that takes 2 hours of commute each way, that's a number. That shows your dedication that you have commuted 4 hours both ways to be where you wanted to be, to improve, to invest in yourself. Those are the numbers. If you are new, what are the things that you have done in college? Maybe you have worked with some extracurricular activities. Put that numbers in. What are the other numbers that you could say? Well, you have maybe written a script that was not there, that maybe bash shell scripting that you have written that improved the process. How it has improved, how many numbers, how many hours it has cut down, include that. Then, so servers, as I mentioned before, any servers that you have supported, any number of customers that you have supported, count it and mention that. Also, one thing I do mention, I do tell my students always, that you should at the end when you're wrapping up tell me about yourself part, also mention something a little quickly, maybe a few seconds about your personal life. So I know maybe the other person, the hiring manager, not interested as to what you do, but it's good that you add it really quickly. Don't go on and telling them everything about your personal life. Just quickly. In my spare time, I love to read books. In my spare time, I love to watch a show. For me, I'll say I love to watch a Seinfeld show because I'm a huge fan. I love to watch soccer, or I love to watch baseball. Anything that you do. This will maybe relate something to your hiring manager, and that hiring manager may ask you, oh yeah, I've seen that episode, that was the funniest one. Oh, I've seen that show, that was a really good one, they outperformed. So you see, you're kind of having a personal level interaction with them, and that's the best thing. That's the best thing, because you're not just talking about straight professional, also a little bit of personal. All right, what else? One last thing that you have to say before you wrap up is, how do you fit for this role? Now, don't just finish up and saying, yeah, this is what I do. Always end up saying that I went through the every job, all the job description or every responsibility that you're looking for, and I noticed that you're looking for someone who wants to do the installation and configuration of a CentOS server. You were looking for someone who could configure the DNS or do the DNS support. You're looking for someone who could install and configure NFS server. I noticed all that things in your job requirement, and I tell you that I have done all that, or I have done that specific ones. And that's why I think I am a perfect fit for this job. That's how you end up saying and wrap up everything about yourself. And again, as you are going, please make sure you have a great and beautiful smile on your face, so this person who is listening to you is actually have that same contagious smile from you. Have that confidence, and I'm sure everything will work out beautifully for you. Stay tuned.